What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Jack Ramsay's pregame show. Danny Marang, Brandon Sprague. Well, it's going to be a weird one, like always. But first of all, thank you. Welcome. Appreciate you. If you haven't already, please like, rate, review, subscribe. Find us wherever you get podcasts available. Yes, the podcasts for the postgame show are now dropping back on the feed because we're back and rolling and feeling somewhat alive. Somewhat alive.
But you sound like you're getting better. I feel 100%. So.
I mean, I quite literally just took a pull of Dayquil. I took a pull of Dayquil, and then, you know what? I need a quick little...
There you go.
To get through the show.
Little Banaka, breath smelling bad.
Little to get things going. And if you haven't already, if you're new here, welcome. We appreciate you. If you're not, welcome back. But do us a favor, if you are new here, click the subscribe button. Help us grow the channel. Kind of get back in the swing of things. First of all, for all the members, we will have a live watch party. I'll put the link up for that as soon as we're done with the show. Brandon may or may not come in. It's up to him. I will be there. If Brandon wants to take this one off, it's totally cool. I had people ask if Joe was going to come in. I don't know if what Joe is doing right now. I would imagine he's chilling. I'll poke him one more time and see if he wants to pop in for a little bit, but I'm not going to burden him with that because he's already going to hop on the show and probably be a couple makers deep at that point in time. So it'll be entertaining because we're all going to watch Rudy Gobert dunk this team into oblivion tonight.
Yes, and Jordan Clarkson and Royce O'Neal and
no Donovan Mitchell. That's official.
No Donovan Mitchell.
Which honestly, good. I mean, it's good for like a Blazers perspective. Like, oh, they have a chance. No, they don't.
But team's won 4 in a row, so they've been okay without Donovan.
Honestly, I'm kind of pissed because I wanted to watch Donovan Mitchell.
You
know, it's not. I mean, normally, and I think in another world where I wasn't recuperating and sick and also waiting on hip surgery, I would 100% be in the building for this game tonight. So in that way, I think I'm still like mentally like blocked out on like, it'd be really cool to see that. But we watched the Dallas Mavericks, who are the worst paint team in the NBA, score 68 points to paint last game, Brandon.
Yes.
The Utah Jazz are significantly better at that.
Yes, they are. I believe they're number 1.
Yes. So, I'm honestly surprised. We'll get to the lines here in a little bit, but I'm honestly surprised it's not more skewed than it is.
Well, I think that's that goes back to what we said last one, right? It's an element of
who knows?
Do we know?
Well, I tell you what, Vegas is catching on. The over-under tonight is 229.
Yeah, Vegas is done playing these games with Portland. They're like, we're setting everything at 228 or better.
Yeah, like Marang keeps winning money because we keep going under 230, and they just keep walking past it in the third quarter. They almost hit the over last game in the third quarter.
I mean, Dallas almost hit the over by themselves. So
I mean, it was just bonkers.
I was sitting there kicking myself. I was thinking, why did I kick around the idea of the under for this game at all? Like what led me into that trap?
So did you catch Scott Brooks' comments post game?
I saw the one really weird one about them being taller and our shots set our spirits or something. And I was just like, okay, Scott, all right, cool.
So you had the same kind of reaction as I did. Like, they got their ass kicked. He's like, well, I didn't think the effort level wasn't there. You didn't think the effort level wasn't there? Because everybody I've talked to who covers this team went, where the hell was the effort? Where was the intensity? The whole first half was just a bleeping, huh?
Yeah.
You had one job, which was find Kristaps Porzingis, the 7'3" guy who was disgustingly tan in December, which I just like to make jokes because it's Porzingis. He's a weird dude.
Is that disgusting to be that tan?
No. Tan life is best life.
I was going to say, like, there's a part of me that, like, I wish I had a year-round tan.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, when I was doing TV and stuff, I did.
Well, sure. But were you faking bacon?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
So were you doing lights or were you doing spray or?
Yes.
Okay.
All of the above.
Okay, good to know.
You know what's great? Or, not necessarily great, but it's tan fat looks a lot better than white fat on TV.
Oh, tan fat all day.
All day.
White fat.
You're like, oh, you do that? I'm like, yeah, wait. You want to see what happens when I don't go for a couple weeks? And you're just like, Christ, Marang, what's going on with you? But yeah, and it's not just Rudy Gobert. It's Hassan Whiteside who, gobbles up numbers.
And probably take a lot of joy in destroying this team tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Eduardo Tovar says Kevin O'Connor brought up the Blazer defense on his podcast again. I didn't listen. I haven't listened to the latest mismatch, but I was waiting for that because he just ran the Kristaps Porzingis NBA.com highlight tape. And the thing of the highlight tape was it was just Portland losing Porzingis.
Yep.
That was what was so criminal about that game. It wasn't like game plan schematics. It was guys like Nas, who the effort was there. He's just not great off ball. That's just not his soft.
He lost Kristaps a couple times.
There was the violent dunk was Nas doing one of whoop.
Yeah.
Turning his head hard, and that happens. Porzingis isn't exactly a guy who typically back cuts with that much authority, but once he realized that nobody was paying him any mind whatsoever, he was like, I'm gonna go get some of this.
Mm-hmm.
But Norm's another guy whose switch is always turned on. That was you take the shooting out of it. I don't care about the 3 for 12. His mindset was jacked in that game. Like he was not committed, and I think even like the most committed guys, like Larry, like Nas, like Norm and Ant, that's probably your 4 guys who you probably look at and go, yeah, those guys are even if they make mistakes, it's not because it's like they don't care. It's not an effort thing. Even those guys are getting to the point of like, why should I care?
Well, I think what I'm looking forward to tonight and the next game against the Lakers, Danny, is I'm kind of looking for that attitude.
Yeah.
That we're at the cliff. We know we're at the cliff. And what kind of attitude are you going to have? Are you going to have turn around, keep yourself from being pushed over, or are you laying down just waiting to be tossed over? And I thought their attitude against Dallas was just shoot us over the cliff here. This is over. We're done. They come out tonight with a similar effort in the Laker game. I don't know how much longer Joe Cronin seriously can hold on here, because this is starting to get to a point where they might not have prototypical locker room cancer situations like you have around the league.
May.
But it's like one of those quietly untalked about situations where there's really no energy. There's no vibe. Everybody's just showing up, leaving. Like there's not a lot of communicating and joking. Like I think that's kind of how we're teetering on that level right now. So to see that effort that you talk about, do they come out with a similar one? Do they come out like they give a damn to try to win this basketball game? It's hard for me not to want to pick Utah, but tonight I think is a real indicator of that.
Yeah, and I kind of want to get into this real quick, just because I thought this was interesting. And speaking of interesting, did I not save that? I guess I didn't. I guess I'll have to grab that while I'm talking about this. Bet Online, you said Joe Cronin and the Blazers might not be able to wait. I thought it was interesting. BetOnline.ag has the Blazers as the prohibitive favorite to land Ben Simmons if he's traded, which, asking around, apparently a lot more of these odds are just kind of like, meh, let's get some action on it.
Yeah.
Which I found to be a little bit interesting once I asked some guys in the betting community. But still, it was one of those things that was interesting. That the Blazers were first for Simmons, second for Sabonis. The third one, they're rated third for Kyrie Irving, which I think that's kind of your signal, like what? Because organizationally that would never happen. But do you think the Simmons stuff is dead?
Yeah, I do.
Dead.
When you sent me those odds earlier today, and I told you I thought they were meh. Like those odds aren't enticing at all. Those odds tell me 0. I think it's just
plus 250 is decent.
To me, like if you got lower than that, then I'd start to kind of like perk up a little bit. Like you got to plus 110, 120, 150. Then I'm like, oh shit, like this might be coming down the pipe. It's not, like, unless Dame pulls a complete 180 and pulls the rug from under our feet and says, all right, I tried. I can't do this. I don't want to do a full restart here. Unless that happens, which I don't see it happening. What's the move? It makes no sense for Philadelphia to take CJ McCollum. If you're just being honest, it doesn't. Like, why would you want to play Seth Curry with CJ McCollum?
Mm-hmm.
You'd have a lot of problems that Portland experienced when Dame and him were healthy. So I don't see the move. And we can bring it up, but I think there's other suitors out there that have better options for Philadelphia. to maybe at least give this a shot with Joel versus what Portland has right now in CJ.
Yeah, to me it's the one situation that would, save things. Undoubtedly, I think from a talent perspective.
You mean for Portland or for Philly?
Honestly, for both.
Because I don't see how the fit works for Philly. I've been one that's like, I want Ben. I would take the gamble on Ben Simmons, but CJ with Seth. I don't know about that.
Well, I mean I think CJ becomes your starting guard and Seth becomes kind of like your sixth man. I've had everybody and their mom ask me about this, so I'm gonna bring it up. For those of you that haven't seen it, I'm gonna throw the image up of Damian Lillard's IG today. The quote from IG is, "It's always a state close by when doing work. Keep pedaling." It's Damian Lillard on a bike, and Sean's coming up and talking to him, and you can see a young Sean hiking in the background, looking strong, actually tweeting right there. But if you zoom in just a little bit, let's go ahead and blow this picture up real quick so everybody can see right around here. That's Jason Quick.
Yeah.
For those of you that are wondering, yes, it was directed at Jason. Yes, Dame is not happy. Jason kind of addressed it in a Q&A the other day on The Athletic, but not this exact post when Dame mentioned snakes the other day. I don't like talking about this stuff, but it's like I've seen other people say, look, they're talking about hiking, and it's like, no, they're not. Dame's not happy about...
Jason suggested that the organization should kick the tires on trading Damian Lillard. He said, basically there should be nothing
no sacred
untouchable. Cows. Yes.
Which I don't think that's too far out there. Now, the way Jason said it, and maybe not talking to Dame about it before he wrote the article, which was what kind of triggered all this in the first place, might be a weird situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's weird. Well, it's weird for Jason and Dame just on they kind of work not together, but
hand in hand.
Yeah. And then also, like, I kind of think about it from our end. I can't help but go the media direction here. I know there's some people feel a certain way about Jason, and that's fine. But sure. I guess I would ask Dame, you can feel how you feel, but like, is a reporter really supposed to run every idea or thought that they have about the team situation by a player?
And Jason did say it with his chest.
Does Dame post snake photos of Bill Simmons when he trades him 18 times a year? Does he do it with Stephen A? Like, I don't know. Like, I completely disagree with Quick. And I talked about this before I signed off on my radio show. Like, we spent 7 years with that jackass of a general manager doing next to nothing for Damian Lillard. I get people don't see him playing well this year. He's banged up and all this. Like, I understand it. Time is not on his side. But the organization at least owes Dame a year or two of going all in and pulling every possible move out of their ass to try to win before kicking the idea around about having him find a new situation. So some people disagree with that opinion. That's okay. But that's kind of been my stance the whole time. I don't agree with trading the top
franchise
12 player in the NBA. I think it's hard enough to get one that wants to be loyal to a city like Portland. But that being said, like, it's not the craziest idea. It's just a differing opinion. And so I guess what I'd be curious about from the Dame perspective is, yes, you have given him a lot of access. Yes, they've had a good relationship in the past. But if a writer is going to just throw an idea, like, why are you not treating every other writer the same way? Like, all these national dudes still get the access. I don't see any posts about it. So I don't know. Like,
it's really weird.
It's juicy. It's, it's gossipy. It's in that kind of folder. But I'm curious how people view that with other media members who throw out ideas of trading Damian Lillard.
Yes. And that was kind of my situation. My take on the whole thing was like, while I don't necessarily agree with Jason, I don't think he's that far off. Like, as an organization, you have to be willing to entertain anything, anytime. Where I think it gets a little bit weird is like when you talk about those kind of things, typically you're talking to the players or their reps about that stuff. And I would imagine that wasn't the case in this particular forum. And that's what probably irked Dame. Like, hey, you say you want to say something that big, like, especially when Dame hints at loyalty. Mm-hmm. And it's a weird place. And Happy says your audio is pretty low. Let me try to bring my
audio
up. No,
your
mine.
Audio?
I'll bring my mic up a little bit.
Okay.
I don't have a ton of a voice right now, guys. So that's kind of how it is. We're really not talking too much about the Jazz because it's kind of a weird situation with the Blazers having a ton of people out. They're not going to have anybody over 6'9". I think Reggie Perry is listed at 6'10", but I'm pretty sure he's 6'9".
Did you make that name up?
I didn't. He's actually the one guy of all the guys that they've signed who I've actually seen play before.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if he's going to be active or a part of the rotation tonight.
Cumberland got a layup at the end of that last game. I'm like, who the hell is Cumberland?
McGriff let that three go pretty confidently. But,
yes, he did.
He also handled the ball, and I was like, oh, no, that's why he's not in the NBA right there. I don't want to trash these guys. These guys are living their dreams, man.
No, I'm not trying to trash him. I was just like, oh, Cumberland didn't know who this was.
And also Brandon Williams is stupid fast.
Yeah.
Stupid fast. And was it Cumberland? It was Cumberland that had the bounce pass on the run, one-handed with a little bit of a little English on. That was pretty sexy. But Eric says Perry's listed at 6'8". There you go. Yeah.
Right.
I was pretty certain he's I've seen him before. He's 6'8", 6'9". Like he's not the 6'10" and above category. Rudy Gobert 7'2". Hassan Whiteside 7'1". So good luck.
Well, can I ask you this too on the quick Dame thing? Like, I guess I also am curious about, isn't it possible to just view, if somebody's talking about trades for a team that clearly needs a restart and a revamp, somebody throwing your name in a trade situation doesn't mean they want you to leave the city. It's just a thought of like roster construction, right?
I think with Dame it is different, and especially with any franchise player, especially with what's transpired over the last 6 months about his commitment, his loyalty, that kind of thing. I think that's the spark, is that it's a little bit of a different situation, because now people were questioning Damian Lillard and I'm trying to put my feet in Dame's shoes right now. People are questioning my loyalty, my mentality, and now 5-6 months later, you're talking about I should be shopped.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how he feels some kind of way about that, especially when it's not like Dame and Jason don't text back and forth, that don't have a relationship. That's probably, if I was going to peel back and like, this is going to be a really awful analogy. But you ever see that movie Dragonheart? Sean Connery, Dennis Quaid.
No.
The dragon shared his heart with like evil dude, right? But like the only way you could kill him was like you'd like pull his chest open to get to his heart. Like loyalty, like that's pulling Dame's chest open, and like that's the only way you can. Have you ever seen Dame rattled in a media presentation?
No.
Or continually needle or attack somebody else in the media?
No.
That's why this looks so weird. That's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Because you took the one thing that you questioned his loyalty, or you weren't reciprocating his loyalty, and I think that's where he's getting a little bit spicy. I think does that track for you?
No, I mean that's it's totally fine. I don't know. I guess I'm probably coming to the defense of Jason a little bit here, and I understand that's how it's sounding.
No,
right
now, I'm probably splitting the fence a little bit because I don't think what Jason said was really that far off.
I'm just like, you cannot like that. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. But the continued barbing is like, come on.
And
man.
I'm also like, you got more important, like your owner, does she exist? You're more worried about a beat writer throwing out a trade scenario than you are like, you know what I mean? Like you don't even
100%
doesn't have an owner. So there's bigger fish to fry, I think, than a beat writer who thinks maybe it's time to explore trade options. Like everybody does this. Like the trade machine never stops working in the NBA. And I get people tweeting me, we need to move on from Dame, or we need to. make this happen, make that happen. Like, it's just kind of the nature of what this business is. These players have created this, form a team situation in the 21st century. So,
which shout out Amon Shumpert. Did you see the interview he did last week?
Yeah,
where he blamed LeBron James entirely for everything.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I thought it was pretty spicy though, because Amon and LeBron, they know each other. They know each other real well.
LeBron shouted him out when he won Dancing with the Stars. Like, they're boys, and he was like, "This is his fault." And I get the Miami thing wasn't great, but
it did change the whole. That's the different. We'll save that for a live show.
But see, to me, I think we completely breeze over Boston, because Miami was player created. Boston was trade organically created that way.
Yeah,
it's different.
It was also Frankenstein doing his buddy Danny Ainge a solid and McHale. So I want to talk about this because I don't know if you'd seen this or not. So the Portland Trailblazers are 13-20 through 33 games, Brandon. It's actually not unfamiliar territory. I was digging through this the other day and I was like, that's weird. That's the third freaking time since 15-16 that they've been 13-20.
Yep.
And this is me pumping my chest a little bit, because all of these years that the Blazers have been successful and been in the playoffs, they have played like utter dog shit for a third, maybe a half of a season, and it's always been one 12, 14, 13, 15 game stretch where they separate themselves just enough. Mm-hmm. And everybody wants to take that one stretch and extrapolate it over. See, this is a 50-win team. 55, easy. The same crap over and over and over and over and over. Over that time period, since 15-16, the Blazers are 108 and 123, a .467 winning percentage through the first 33 games of each season. They are 13-20, 13-20, 17-16, 19-14 in 18-19, 14-19, 19-14, 13-20. So they have 2 seasons where they clear more than a game above 500 through 33 games. Do you think that there's a miracle run in this team?
No. This team right now with 0 moves made, this team is dead. This team is lifeless. This team doesn't play for each other. This team has guys who have so many years of experience.
16-17 all over again.
I mean, it really is. Because
that season was a lost season, and they flipped Mason Plumlee for a first-round pick.
It's because, I mean, you can still make a move and change your season. I'll admit that. But
sure.
I remember that season, and they were close to a top 5 pick as the Tatum draft. And I thought, oh, dear God, if you want to get into those sweepstakes, it would make a lot of sense. And by the way, could you imagine, what is Jason Tatum, 25, 24?
The joke is he's still 19, but I think he's 23.
He's 20-3. I mean, he's already at like an all-NBA type level. So even if you would have taken a young guy at that point of Dame's career, it still would have worked out rather well. But there's just they're cooked. They're waiting for the trade. And no, I don't see that happening with this current group. They won those 2 games in a row. And I remember thinking, oh, the Pelican game's next. They could beat the Pelicans. And then I watched the Pelican game and I said, why did I think this? Why did I think this team? Because I think we're accustomed to seeing those turnarounds that you just highlighted, where they start slow and they go on like a 15-16 game stretch.
Where they go 13-3, 12-4.
This team isn't capable.
And I almost wonder, in talking to folks, Dame will not be shut down until the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. Coincidentally enough, doing some rough math, if he plays like he's been playing, he will break Clyde's scoring record by the All-Star break, which, perfectly enough, falls on a homestand between the 4th and the 12th. Breaks it at home. Possibly on the 9th against the LA Lakers.
Oh.
Damian Lillard breaks Clyde's scoring record, a record that's probably not going to be broken because guys just don't stay with teams anymore.
Right.
Now you shut Damian Lillard down.
Yes.
Now he makes the All-Star game, and he's replaced on an injury replacement.
Yep.
but he gets the scoring record. He gets another All-Star nod. Now you tank. And I just got done watching Jabari Smith in the Auburn LSU game coming in here.
Yeah.
I am 100% convinced now that he is going to be a superstar in the NBA. Not star, superstar.
It's a sneaky good draft.
I had watched him play a little bit here or there. I sat down and watched the first half, and I think he ended up like 4 of 8 in the first half. But just watching him play, I was just like, yeah, it's the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. 6'10", moves like that, heavy pull up at the buzzer, 18-footer. It's just the easiest jumper since Kevin Durant, and it's just. Mm-hmm. And your runner-up pick is Paolo Banchero.
Yeah,
or
dude.
Chet Holmgren, who's averaging 6 blocks a game. Like, you've got 6'10", 7'3".
Yeah.
Remind me again, what is it the Blazers that they don't have?
Yeah,
size.
well, it's everything you just listed.
So, oh man, my nose is getting drier and drier as we sit here. But that's my big conspiracy. But I also think that if that ends up being the course of action here, that changes what the Blazers do and the calculus. Because now you're not probably, maybe if you are chasing Ben Simmons, maybe it's not until the deadline. Maybe now you hold off on all your moves until the deadline unless a great player becomes available and they want what the Blazers have to offer. Maybe now the Cavs get a little happy and you can chase Isaac Okoro and Kevin Love. Not thrilled about it. I'm just saying there's things happen is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be a team that steps up for Ben outside of I don't even know is Portland even stepping up right now? I don't think they are.
They are. They've had discussions.
Well, I wouldn't doubt they have discussions, but like currently they're sitting like, hey,
I think everybody in the NBA is sitting on their hands right now with COVID. I don't think anybody's making moves right now because there was another postponement, Miami and I'm totally blanking.
Shoot, I'm blanking.
But yeah, they didn't have San Antonio. They didn't have the 8 guys.
Yeah.
So until that stuff goes away, which historically we've seen it takes about a month for it to all clear up after the holidays, which coincidentally enough leads right into the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to get pretty hot and heavy. But any moves that were going to happen, I think everybody's looking around the league like, no, especially not like 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s, those kind of situations. You just you can't put that all together. All right, we don't want to get out of here without at least talking a little bit about this game. So, what are you looking for tonight?
I'm looking for Anthony Simons to be more aggressive than he was in the last game.
And to not get pulled for foul trouble when you're missing players. I want to kill Scott Brooks for that, by the way.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Get him into the 30.
Yeah, you halfway pulled your headset out.
To like the 30-minute mark plus. It'd be nice to get into that territory. I expect Norm to have a better game. I mean, that was, as you highlighted in the post, that was his worst game as a Blazer that he's had so far. It's really it, man. It's not a lot to look forward to with what they're currently dealing with this COVID situation.
And honestly, even if they were entirely healthy, I don't think there's a ton to look forward to from the actual basketball outside of the young guys. Like maybe Dame Aflame kind of, goes nuts. Like you can maybe get excited about that, but that's kind of a bummer. Like even like hot Dame nights are kind of like, yeah, well, that's cool, but this season sucks. It's you know what I mean? Like it's the air that's just been let out of the room. It's gonna be interesting. I'm with you on the Ant part of this, and I'm gonna flip that this into our like it, love it, leave it tonight. My love it is Anthony Simons. I thought he looked really good in that first half. The shots he was taking and making. And then he picked up 2 quick fouls, and then he didn't get back into the game because they don't have any. They have to play Dame X amount of minutes to have a chance. Norm has to play X amount of minutes for them to have a chance. And so you're like, well, what do? We don't have any real size, so we've got to play our wings up a spot, which means we can't go small and go to a 3-guard lineup, which means Ant gets squeezed. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for Scott Brooks to, because again, Chauncey is out tonight, for Brooks to go, oh, right, the guy that can shoot the living piss out of the ball that we haven't been able to do, we should get him on the floor more.
I mean, he should have been playing 35 minutes. Dame should not have played 36. Like,
yes.
I just don't know how Scott Brooks doesn't see that.
Well, there's a reason why he's lost multiple jobs. I'll just leave it at that. What's your love it and like it tonight?
Well, my love it was going to be Ant, so we're kind of sharing the same love it. My like it, I'm going to like Norm Powell. I mean, if Portland's going to have a shot in hell to pull an upset tonight and win this game, Norm Powell has to be good. He's got to give them at least 20 points. I just don't see how they win this game without Norm giving them at least 20. Mm-hmm. And my leave, it's pretty simple. I could say paint defense, but they're not going to get better in that category tonight. It's going to maybe get worse. Can you just care just a little bit?
Getting beat, like they're going to get beat. Like that's. I don't think either one of us are like, oh, you know what? It could be a sneaky good win tonight. And it's the NBA where anything can happen, but if you play this game 99 out of 100 times, the Jazz are going to wax them. That's just the reality of how things are right now with COVID and the position the Blazers are in. But they can't have the lack of effort. They can't have the lack of communication. They can't have a lack of give a damn. They can't pre-switch. Like the game plan that they went in with was awful. We didn't even get into that stuff last time, but the game plan they went in with was just a train wreck. They were soft switching the entire time, which every time they did, it led to one of the smalls getting tied to somebody significantly bigger and looking to one of the wings like, hey, we need to switch this now. And in the confusion of that getting switched back out, somebody was usually cutting down the middle and dunking.
Easy looks, yeah.
So that was a big, big issue. And then, of course, the zone defense that is clearly one of the worst zone defenses I've ever seen. All that stuff needs to go out the window. Speaking of going out the window, let's get to our line of the night real quick, and we'll get out of here. Where the hell did I put it? There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Jacked up line of the night. The Blazers are a big-time home dog, plus 7.5. Woo. Remember, in the NBA right now, last I checked, home court is worth 3 points. So they're a 10-point dog.
Yeah. I don't know how you don't take Utah either.
Straight up, it's only plus 250. Actually, for a 10-point, legal dog. I thought that was a little surprising. I thought that line would be closer to 350 or 4. But then maybe that money's fallen pretty heavy on Utah. But over under 229. 229, Brandon. You still going to take the over?
I'll take the over. I bet the under last time. It didn't work. I will take Utah minus 7.5, and I will take the over of 229.
You know what? I haven't taken an opponent to cover against Portland, but I'm going to do it tonight.
I think you have to at this point, man. This team is ready to be buried.
I'm going to do it tonight. So let me.
Can I also highlight how surprised I was the amount of people that showed up for that game?
Yeah, there was a lot of people in the building. We had somebody in here last night or earlier who said that, it was my first game in 2 years, and it was really sad.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll throw 25 on it. We'll go.
What are you throwing it on? The over?
Huh? No, on the Jazz 7.5.
Oh yeah.
Bloop. I love finding your location. There you go. Remember, gamble responsibly, folks.
It hurts to bet against your team, but when they're giving you this season, they owe you.
I mean, I'm up heavy on the season right now. So
betting against this team.
Yeah, I think I've taken Portland heads up twice.
Jeez.
And I lost one of them brutally. And I was like, nope, Dad knows better. Don't do that again. Couple announcements, I guess, to say. We will have, like I said, the live show coming up here during the game. I'll post the link as soon as we get done here on the YouTube community page for all the members there. I'll pop in and out. I'm not going to be doing a ton of talking just because my throat is cooked, but I think it's like a cool way to kind of have everybody kind of come in and be able to chat and talk back and forth and ask questions, and we can just kind of have fun, chill. And then we will have Joe Simons on the postgame show.
All right.
And Joe has told me he's going to wear the jacket that I put of him in the picture. That's one of his notorious headshots that I put in the promo page. But like a little reunited, and it feels so good. We'll get a little bit weird. It's going to be Jack Ramsay's After Dark for sure.
We're going to have to get some juicy behind-the-scenes outsider stories
Oh,
going.
100%. No, 100%. There's some that we absolutely cannot say on air.
Like
but,
when you guys dropped acid on one of the episodes. Yeah, I remember that.
Not just. But again, thank you all so very much. We appreciate you. We love you. Help us grow the community. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Help us grow here on YouTube. Click the subscribe button. Please help us. Nibble says, I heard it was meth. Listen, I don't mess with meth, okay?
Black tar heroin, baby.
Yes, exactly. Why do you think I use the Kermit gif so much?
Exactly, yeah.
But thank you all so very much. We'll see you all here in a little bit. You can find us on social media at Jack Ramsays, at Danny Marang, at Brandon Sprague. Remember, we have the live show tomorrow on Thursday. We'll figure out what time we're going to go here in a little bit. But otherwise, we will catch you guys here. Well, at least I will. Brandon will come and go as he pleases if he wants. And then we'll catch you guys for the post-game show with Joe. It'll be fun. Appreciate you guys.